What's up, everybody? Corey Casey here again. Just going to try to help you out a little bit more and show you another bait that I like to throw, and a bait that I think you can throw in, and once again, in ponds, creeks, rivers. The closest body of water that you can get to in your neighborhood, out on the lake. Um, it's a good bait, and this is a Berkeley Swamp Lord. It's just a hollow body frog. This is the walking style. You can also get them in a popping style. They have a little indention on their mouth where you can kind of pop it. This one just kind of walks back and forth. But I'm gonna take it out of the box. I'm gonna show you exactly what I do to my frog almost every single time. I'll explain to you why I do it, um, and then I'm gonna tie it on for you, and then I'm gonna show you exactly how I throw it, and kind of tell you when I think you should throw it. So put my pliers in my pocket, and I just take this thing right out the box. All right, it's got the long tails on it. First thing I'm going to do is tie it on. All right, first things first. I always throw my frog on either 50 or 65-pound braid. Just depends on the situation. I'll kind of explain that to you. But most of the time, I throw mine on 50. It casts a little bit better. I don't ever have a problem with it breaking or anything like that. And I always tie polymer knot. So when you throw braid, a polymer knot, it never fails me, and I like it. So here's the end of my line there. All you do is just double over your line. That's it. Right? Just double your line. Take the tip of your line there, goes through the loop. All right, got it through. Okay. There's my tag in there. My line's doubled. And you just tie a knot. I call it a granny knot. Just a simple, like your overhand, like you're tying your shoe knot. Pull it tight. One knot. And all you do, you've made a loop now. You have a loop here. Okay, that's what you stuck through the eye of the bait with the loop. Open up the loop with your hand and stick the bait in the loop, just through the loop, and then take your tag in. You can do this with your main line or your tag in. I use my tag in, and pull it tight. That's it. Pull it tight. Give your main line a little bit of a tight pull, and that's it. Then you just take your handy dandy scissors, get you some braid cutting scissors, cut my tag in. Need to get me a new pair of scissors. All right, that's how you tie the knot. Okay, second thing I do, I take my pliers. You do not have to do this. I just do it. It does make it a little bit less weedless. So if you're throwing around some really heavy stuff, probably don't need to do this. But if you're throwing around some scattered lily pads and some scattered grass like you kind of see behind me, I like to do it. And I just take a pair of pliers and I grab the bend of the hook there, and I just bend it up a little bit. It just helps with hookup ratios, I think. It's just kind of something that I do. All I do is just bend them up just a little bit. They're really strong hooks on a lot of these frogs, so they are kind of hard to bend. But I do bend them up and out a little bit, just to help a little bit with hookups. But like I said, it will cause you to get kind of hung up in grass a little bit. All right, so after I do that, I do this to my frog almost every single time. All right, I'm gonna trim the legs. I'm gonna trim them a certain way, and I trim them almost the same exact way every time. The only time that I personally leave my legs super long like this is if I'm fishing something heavy cover, like some really thick hydrilla or some algae looking stuff, something that it's super thick. So I just want the biggest profile as I can get that the fish can see better. And that's the only time that I leave them long. All right. So when you leave your legs long, the frog's coming at you. With the legs long, not cut, it is harder to get this frog to go side to side. If you leave them long, it really just kind of bounces like this. You can make it go side to side, but it's kind of difficult and just really not as efficient. I like for my frog to go side to side as best as I can possibly get it, and trimming the legs really helps do that. So first thing I do, I take one of them and I'm just going to basically cut it completely in half. All right, now we got one long and one short. Okay, and I go to this other one, I cut it about the same, completely in half. Then I'll just trim up some of the leg that's left and just make them different lengths just to do something a little different. Right, so now I've got legs, different lengths. They're really short. That's about as short as I go with it. You can leave it a little bit longer. If you're not sure exactly what you like, cut a little bit off, make a few casts. If you don't like it, bring it back in, cut some more off. I kind of know how I like mine. I don't like a ton of leg. I want my frog to walk side to side. So here's why I like for mine to walk side to side. I grew up fishing the Cooper River. A lot of hydrilla lines. And the hydrilla lines are dead straight. A lot of them are straight. I'm throwing my frog as close to the edge of the hydrilla as I can. That's kind of similar here. You've got an edge of grass, right? You've got the edge of the grass. It's pretty straight through here. When my legs are short, I can twitch my frog when it's outside of the grass line. Let's say I make a bad cast and I'm 4 foot off the grass line and I really need to be 1 foot off the grass line. Well, I can cast it and it's going to twitch this way. I'll do it kind of soft. If I want my frog to go that way towards the grass, I'll give it a nice good little twitch, and it'll twitch and then it'll glide. And it'll glide to the side and then it'll stop here, right? And then I'll twitch it back this way a little bit. And then when I twitch it back this way towards the grass, I'll twitch it a little better and I'll let it glide and it'll glide. And in 3 or 4 casts, I can have my frog exactly where I want it to go. Or if I'm fishing cypress trees and I can't really get under the cypress tree, I can throw past the tree. And then as I work my frog, I can adjust it. I can twitch it more to the left or more to the right. So if I throw it straight out in front of me and I want my frog halfway through the cast to be 7 foot more to the left because of whatever structure I'm throwing at, then I can do that. And I can twitch it and it'll glide. And every twitch that you make, every twitch of your cast, it'll go 6 inches more to the side that you want it to, if that makes sense, right? So you can twitch it, it'll be 6 inches more to the left. You can twitch it, 6 more inches to the left. Twitch it, 6 more inches to the left. The next thing you know, 3 or 4 casts, you know you're 1.5 feet, you're 2 foot over, right? So that's why I do that. So always cut my frogs, my legs, bend the hooks out, always tie a polymer and on 50-pound braid. Only time I throw 65-pound braid is usually at the same time that I'm not cutting my legs. When we went to Saginaw Bay last year, there was some really thick, I don't even know what you would call it, just really thick slop on top of the water. For you tournament guys, John Cox, sorry, not John Fox. Last year on Wheeler, caught him on a swamp lard throwing in some thick stuff. And he kept his legs super long just to have as much as you could possible to see for the bass, right? So that's exactly how I do my frog a lot. There's a lot of ponds. A frog is a good bait for a pond because a lot of ponds have just a bunch of stuff in it, right? A bunch of stuff, and sometimes it could be kind of hard to figure out what to throw. A frog is perfect. It's your go-to 50-pound braid. I throw it always on a high gear ratio. 8-to-1 is really what I prefer. 8-5-to-1. You can throw it on a 7-5-to-1. Just something that when he bites it, I can get my slack in super quick, set the hook. Always throw it on a heavy action rod. This is a 7-1 G Loomis. I really like it. But I'd say anywhere from a 7-foot to a 7'4" heavy action rod. You can even go bigger if you'd like to, but I just prefer 7'1", 7'2" is kind of my favorite. So I'm going to try to show you down this grass line right here. I'm going to make a cast. And I'm going to throw it kind of out here and show you how at the end of my cast my frog can be over there. There's my frog out there. You just kind of watch it. I can twitch it. It'll glide. Then I can just twitch a little harder, right? And I'm gliding out to the left. Gliding more out to the left. There it goes again. More to the left. A little bit more. It definitely takes some practice, some getting used to. But you can see I'm probably, and I haven't done it perfect every time, but now I'm probably 2 foot more outside than I was when I made the cast. And sometimes that's what you need to do. And this frog, you can fish it a couple different ways. About the speed that I'm throwing it here, that's kind of like my favorite way to throw it. Twitch it 3 or 4 times, kind of let it sit, work it real slow. That's really kind of my favorite way to do it. Now, you can do it a bunch of different ways. You can throw it, I'll throw this one right in the middle of the grass. We're way back up in the slot, right? And you could just steady walk this thing side to side. Side to side, it'll come right through that grass, just as perfect as you'd like it, right? Bending those hooks up does cause it to snag a little bit longer, but you can see just a steady twitch of my rod. I'm going to try to do one with my rod in the picture here, in the view, and it's really just a really slight action with your rod. So I'll get up here, hopefully you can see it. Gonna throw my frog out there and take my rod tip. And it is just, I always keep my rod down and ready to set the hook. I'm ready to whack him when he gets it. But it's not big pops of your rod. You know, it is very subtle. You're moving it 3 or 4 inches at a time. Just get out there, get some practice with it. And once again, you could throw this thing anywhere. So get you a frog, a hollow body frog. You could do the same exact thing with the popping style frogs. You know, the popping style frogs will just have a lip in the front and they're more like a pop and stop. But you trim those legs, get them walk side to side, and you can literally throw this thing anywhere. I throw it out in open water. You could throw it in super thick stuff. You could throw it in scattered stuff and it catches big ones. So if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to comment or message me and get you a couple frogs and go out and have some fun. Goodbye.